Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We got ourselves a big best of 3 from the ESL Winter Winners stage. Up in the top left, representing Basilisk, it's Serral. And in the bottom right side, representing Shopify Rebellion, it's BYUN. Now, Serral and BYUN are not going to be eliminating each other here. It's just a best of 3. It's the winners stage. So the winners stage takes those players who have already done very well in their own region and does allow them to face off against each other here and see if you can get straight through to the top 8. If you make your way through, I believe it's 3 matches, 2 or 3 wins, you do get into that top 8 straight away. But if you lose straight away, you will end up going down to the first round of the knockout bracket, or one of those stages anyway. Reaper's going to come in here. It's going to be a 2 ranks Reaper pressure into a quick command center. And a 3rd barracks. Nice and early, actually. Oh, he gets a drone. Nice micro for BYUN. I almost don't even talk about the harassment because it's a foregone conclusion. You're not going to get any kills. But look at that. Serral's Overlord's not in position right now. Oh, he does see the Reapers staying in the main, trying to go around the left. They're going to try and pick off a few Zerglings. Gets one. Oh, we can get another drone. No, good micro by Serral, but still 2 Lings and a drone. Not bad, especially for a 2 Reaper opening. This is about as low of a commitment as you can possibly do. Now, there is an Overlord in the back door. Serral sneaking into the back door. He's going to try and fly into the main base, but there is a Marine moving over to the edge. Does Serral back off? Or is he going to commit? No, he's going to back off. Wants to keep the Overlord alive. Doesn't want to give it away. And that means that 2nd Tech Lab barracks will be able to start up combat shields in a little while. He's going to do a big 3 ranks Marine pressure to try and keep the momentum on. It's going to be... Oh, Ling speed kicking in already. Well, Serral actually gets a surround on one of those earlier than I expected. Ling's on the high ground and the low ground at the same time. And BYUN, there's got to be a part of him that's worried about an all-in. There's got to be another part that says, well, I've got 3 barracks, actually, so who cares? So, let's be honest, that's a correction on my commentary. Yeah, there's no way he's afraid with a 3 racks build. Even a Baneling bust, you're going to have so many Marines out of this. I think you're going to be pretty much 100% safe. You may have to pull SCVs in that scenario, but of course, we know that's not the case. Serral's just looking for map control, putting workers back on gas now. You can see he's rallied these 3 workers out of the eggs onto that. And his natural and his 3rd are getting nicely up on the workers. Marines coming forwards, grabbing themselves 2 Zergling kills before pulling back inside. Nope, goes forward again. Trying to make it hard for Serral to scout here. It's taking a lot of Serral's attention to make sure he both scouts without giving away many Zerglings. Notice Zerglings only have about 7 vision, whilst a Marine shoots 5 range. So you don't get a lot of time to react. And seeing these Marines coming forward, Serral tracking the advance. And as those Marines push down the ramp, he is going to realize what's up. Bailey Nest is on the way for Serral right now. And he looks like he snuck a Zergling around the side. He sees the factory on the way. 3 barracks there. He knows it's a very committed 2-base build order. It's going to be about 20 Zerglings and 5 Queens on the map here. On the front, we've got 17 Marines with Stim. Combat shields finishing in 4 seconds. Very dangerous to push on creep. BYUN goes for it, though. Dangerous is his middle name. Already gets 1 Queen. He's going to try and pull away from the Zerglings. Queens are very tanky, but Zerglings are very high damage, but fragile. Oh my god. BYUN's micro doing really nicely here. Serral with some good in and out. You don't want to be losing any more Queens, and he is back to droning. Serral cleans it up. And I gotta say, usually that sort of trade, if the Terran doesn't trade, say, 2-to-1 cost efficiency in his favor, it's terrible for Terran to lose all those units. BYUN should find himself pretty massively behind from here. We have seen BYUN, of course, make crazy comebacks against a lot of the best Zergs in the world. Well, almost the best Zergs in the world. I don't know if I've seen him come back from super bad openings versus Serral before. That's going to be very tough. I wouldn't say this is super duper bad, just advantage to Serral. But I feel like anytime Serral takes an advantage, it's a little scarier than a normal player taking the advantage because he can run away with that game. Rotoran Evolution Chamber is there, 5 gases as well. And the Overlord's going to come in for the scout, see a few extra barracks. Serral, does he realize from this that there's no 3rd command center? Because you got to look at this from his vision and say, well, there could be a command center over like up here or up here. But if he doesn't see one land in the next, I don't know, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, then he will have confirmation. This is a 2-base all-in. Marines, tanks, and Roaches are amazing at shutting that down. Serral opened Queen Zergling, but if he goes straight for Roach speed, he will be good. And actually, he's going Baneling speed and Ling Bane and Ravager. So he's just going to use Ravagers to snipe tanks. Interesting. In that case, you don't need to spend money on roach speed because Ravagers do not benefit from the roach speed upgrade. They, by default, are a fair bit faster. Oh, siege tank kind of far back. Good cancel for Serral. I like that. Serral realizes what's happening. He knows this is a big 2-base push. And BYUN's known to take 3rd bases behind it. But it's very, very slow, his economy. Siege tank's moving forward. Big marine ball is there. Forcing Serral to fight before the Ravagers are ready. The Queen's taking damage. There's not many Queens in general. You can't be affording to lose many of these as Serral. You don't have that normal anchor of Queens that you're used to having. The Baneling speed isn't here. BYUN taking an excellent fight. And oh me, oh my. I mean, the Ravagers will take out the siege tank. Oh, yes, he does, just barely. Units lost up now massively in BYUN's favor. Getting close to that 2-to-1 mark. But no reactors on the 4th and 5th barracks. He's just going all out on the aggression. That's a dicey decision. Double drop goes left. Main army gathering up in the main. Attack path, that is. He's got a lot of scans left, ready to clear the creep. Ravagers, Roaches, Zerglings, 59 workers for Serral. Serral does not have the monstrous economy. I know a guy like Rainer right now would be trying to go to 70 or 80 workers just to get further and further ahead. Serral says, screw that. I'm going to play safe, mate. I'm going to sit on a small but comfortable worker advantage, build a bigger army, and deal with you that way. And this is the safe way to do it. Let's see if BYUN can make some magic happen. One medevac falling. The Lings are getting wrecked, though, which means the Queens will fall in the next wave if he's not careful. The Marines are so damaged, they are starting to go down, but many Queens do die. Right side, Marine and tank pushing forward. Ravagers and Banelings are ready. If the Ravagers get in range of the tanks, that will be big. I love the pullback on the Banelings. I think that was only a double bile. No, he gets a triple bile, but 2 Ravagers already going down. And Bane, oh, nice Baneling connection on some of the Marines, but he's not able to chase to get rid of the siege tanks just yet. The focus fire for BYUN with that tank was legendary, but it does end up going down. Marine drop in the back of the main is still there. The Marines are very damaged. He could unload that and be annoying. There's no Zerglings there right now. Serral a little slow to get on top of it. If the Queens focus the medevac, though, they could shut it down. And indeed, the medevac has to fall back. BYUN still with no 3rd base. He is all in on 2 bases. He's got to go because his main is half mined out. He's probably going to lift that in a little while. If he keeps Serral on 3 base, he can keep fighting like this for a long time. The only thing really putting a timer on him is the fact that +2 carapace is coming in, and the fact that his tank count keeps getting reset by Ravagers, and now Lings catch a siege tank. Delicious engagement there by Serral. Queen cleans up the medevac behind the natural, and it does seem like he's losing momentum. Queens are already on top of both Liberators. One of them sieges up. Will it even get a single drone? Yeah, a single drone, but that's it. Ravager Baneling on the right side. Oh, good shots on the Banelings, but he does take down the siege tanks. It is just Marines here. Serral may need to wait for a few more Banelings. BYUN's focus fire is legit. Oh man, Serral fought a bit too early. You cannot underestimate BYUN's micro. That being said, the Ling surround is just good enough, and he is able to break it. Units lost tab 3,000 in favor of BYUN. Does that matter when you're mining 800 less minerals a minute? No, it does not. BYUN desperately is needing to kill Serral, but his tank count is still at 2. His marine count at 30. And if we look at the upgrades, yes, he's on 1-1 verse +1. But +2 carapace is a minute out. +1 melee, 30 seconds out. Serral is going to get an upgrade advantage in a minute. He's got a new 4th base up that's going to be mining. If he can get a 5th up as well and defend any of those, he will be in a great spot. 2nd engineering bay, armory on the way. And BYUN is going to lift down to the 3rd, but that means he will have to retake those gases eventually. He's also mixing in Marauders right now. He built 2 extra tech labs. What? 3 tech labs and 2 reactors? Okay, so BYUN is swapping into a biomine style where he's now swapped the factory onto a reactor as well. So he wants to basically get the Ling Bane to clump up around the Marauders, let the Widow Mines get big hits, and do really well that way. But he's pushing here. These are his only 2 tanks. They're the last 2 tanks he'll probably be having in this game. Ravagers and Banelings taking damage right here. Marines shoving forward down the left side. We've got Banelings trying to fall back. In the main base, Liberator does slide in. I love that move there. But Serral is getting in with the Ling backstab. Marines are well positioned. If the SCVs fight as well, that should be an easy hold for BYUN. And indeed it is. Queens clean up the Liberator there. 4th hatchery goes down. Serral's denied from his 4th base again. This is the BYUN special. Yes, the upgrades are now better for Zerg, but the Zerg doesn't have a 4th. And that actually means right now, the income is better for Terran, because he's got a fresh base here mining, whilst the main is half mined out for Serral. If Serral has a 4th base mining, yes, he's ahead on income, but he's not right now. He's only on Ling Bane with a few Roaches and Ravagers. This is not a god tier army that's going to outscale, but BYUN's not watching! Oh, BYUN! He was looking at a drop he had in Serral's main base. Oh no, he was focusing banelings down in the main. He gets ambushed on the front. That being said, there might not have been enough units to capitalize. BYUN might still make magic happen. This is the, I swear I've seen BYUN win games like this so many times. I've never seen him do it versus Serral, especially after losing all those Marines at the start. But what a legend. He's actually in the lead now. Massive army advantage. And he's still got a lot of medevacs. His double drop's going to try and sneak by into the natural. Serral's army, his worker count looks kind of crap. I got to be honest, guys. It feels like this trading, the trading is the answer. That's why. It's like, how is Serral so far behind now? Well, apparently 14,000 resources lost for 8,500 is trading you just cannot handle. BYUN focused down too many banelings this game. And look at this. He's dancing around with the medevacs. The queens are a little slow to deal with that. Oh, get out of there. Get out of there. He does need to get out with that medevac over on the right side. You can see now the heavy marauder count with concussive, as well as the mines in there, the marines up front. Oh, Bane's just rolled into his third. He just lost his whole third mineral line. BYUN's down to 30 workers. That being said, Serral's only on 50. I mean, it feels bad to be on 30 workers at 12.5 minutes, but if you keep a Zerg on 3 base, Zerg has nowhere to mine from with these workers. Being very cautious, doesn't want to get surrounded. Triple drop down there, has healed the marines. Queens are going to get a bit of damage. Up on the right side is where the really important battle is going to happen. There's actually no Ling Bane defending on that left side. BYUN, uh-oh, his army on the right's getting jumped on. Good positioning for BYUN, but he's going to have to pick up and get out of there. Oh, wait, that Baneling? Okay, no, he does pick up, doesn't want to risk it. Surprisingly, these Marines went home. I really thought they were going to stim in at the same time and actually win the game. The fact that BYUN pulled those home was the rare moment where he didn't show as much killer instinct this time. There are still a bunch of Widow Mines all over the shop. Serral gonna have to pull back. Those 4 Widow Mines are gonna recharge. The whole army is maybe gonna move to the right. It's interesting that BYUN's wasting time now. I guess he's just waiting for that 2-2 upgrades to finish so that he's even. Now his 2-2 finishes, he's gonna poke and prod. This is not a committed push, it's just a poke. Gets a drone. Oh, he goes a bit deep. And only a single Baneling with that Widow Mine. Ravages do clear it up. Nicely done. The rest of the army is coming here now. He's decided to frontal push. Lings are on the left side. New third base has finally built. BYUN's going to take his first third base in the game at 14 minutes. Serral's down 20 army supply. He has a hive on the way, but he needs to defend this base. If he loses this base, he loses the game. Serral needs to crush this army, but BYUN's micro is good, avoiding the corrosive biles and the Banelings. Ling's trying to run in, forcing BYUN's attention away momentarily. And Serral finds himself an empty main base. Not many SCVs to harass in there. Just a few that were left long distance mining in the chaos. Speaking of chaos, that is BYUN's namesake. Someone the other day was telling me they get very tense. Their neck gets very sore after playing StarCraft ladder. And they're saying, what's some advice? And I said, play like Maru, don't play like BYUN. If you look at Maru, he looks very chilled when he's playing. Usually. There are rare times when he doesn't. But BYUN, whether he's playing well or poorly, looks like he's having an aneurysm. He's spasming, his hands are moving frantically, his head's moving from side to side. And that's kind of how I play as well. And I also get neck pain sometimes. But anyways, let's talk about the fights. Big Marine Marauder up here. Lots of Banelings, but as long as you dodge, you gotta be careful with Serral because the Ravagers are good at dealing with tanks and mines, but they do block the Banelings sometimes. So you gotta be very careful there. Here we go, guys. SCVs trying to go back into the third. Lings are gathering up. Bio stimming in and out right now. Okay. Bane Ravagers there. We've got 2 Infestors out. Third one building. Plus 3 weapons on the way for BYUN. I mean, BYUN's actually just in a great position now. The Zerg economy just can't scale up. Serral's stuck at 130 supply. The Infestors are the only way he can get back in this game. He could win with those Infestors. I really do feel Infestors are one of the best comeback units in StarCraft, but I don't know. This 5th base is just a little creep spread in front of it. He doesn't really feel like he has control over this territory. You know, Serral needs to get control of those watchtowers. I love the Ling run by. Finding BYUN's orbital on the 3rd base. BYUN stims some bio over. We'll clean this up. Widowmine sees those units retreat to the left. Oh, Infestor. Oh, Serral caught with his slug out of his pants there. Does lose one of his Infestors. He's only got 2 of them now. It's so important to keep those Infestors alive to stop BYUN from doing moves like this. If you were coming in with a fungal, he would have to pick up and run away before you could even land it. With no fungal threat, look at this. He can stand and fight for a little bit. Pick up at the very last. Okay, now the Infestor's there. He's got to leave. He's got to leave. He's got to leave before the fungal lands. And he does. You can see he saves all those units at the same time. Ling's running in once again. The bio will defend it. Only 3 SCVs going down. The threat of the Infestor is very real. 9,000 resource lost difference. BYUN in a massive advantage in that regard. That being said, he was, of course, mining less for large portions of this game. The last 10 minutes is almost all Serral in the income advantage. BYUN's been making up for it with the units lost tab. Bio engaging on the top right. The Lingbane, Roach, Ravager, Infestor. Such small Zerg armies. Not something Zerg players are comfortable with. They want big armies. You don't want to be fighting a Terran with so few units. Upgrades might be even. Oh, but look at this drop in the main. I like the transfuses on the spawning pool. Nice hot pickup for BYUN. BYUN pushes left now. It looks like a couple of banelings did go off on those marauders to the north. He's going to have to pick up once again. He's going to go for the spready. Bit of a dangerous move for BYUN. I got to say, there's a lot of Lingbane Ravager coming in from behind. I think the pullback is the better choice there. Nice fungal on the medevacs. Does make it a little awkward on the pickup. He's trying to boost over to pick up, but only 2 medevacs get there in time. BYUN, the psychopath, waits to the last second because at the same time he was redropping the main, overwhelming the Zerglings there. And that is BYUN just trying to win off clutch micro under pressure. Bunch of Marauders do get caught by a fungal. Bunch of Marines get caught by another one. Banelings are just never connecting in this game. Nice Biles going down on the medevacs. But BYUN will punch through. And as he clears those Ravages, I think this ends up being a pretty big victory for him. The medevacs do get evicted from the main base. He's only on 34 workers, so we've got to be cautious. Big trades, big frontal fights like this might not be as favorable for BYUN as the kind of chopping away at the flanks that he was doing up to this point. There's an Infestor out somewhere on this map. I don't know. It's coming from behind. Doesn't have fungal energy just yet, but it will in about 15 seconds. Widowmines, Marines, Marauders are spreading right now. Oh, Serral trying to overwhelm. There's a lot of medevac healing here, but I think BYUN just needs to get a few more units together so he actually has some firepower, and indeed he does. Watch out for that Infestor. From behind you, it will pop up, but there's just no units to capitalize. Even if he lands in a fungal, what's he going to do with it? It damages a few units, the medevacs keep healing, and BYUN plays his classic 2-base, non-stop aggressive style. I did not think with the way that game opened he was going to get it done, but his efficiency was just off the charts. All right. That was a banger from BYUN in the bottom right now of Golden Aura. Bit more of a Zerg-friendly map, this one. I do wonder what map 3 will be if we get there. BYUN going for 2 racks, a Reaper wall off. 3 racks Reaper! Not very surprising, really, with BYUN, is it? Now notice Serral's pulled off minerals onto gas. He is absolutely respecting the threat of that, because BYUN, you never know when he's going to pull out a 3 racks Reaper. So Serral will have a very quick link speed to deal with this, and he will no doubt be staying 2-base. Now, the problem with 3 racks Reaper is you need a second gas to support the 3rd barracks of Reaper production, which means you are going to be incredibly late on the command center because you're already under saturation at this point. Now you're going to pull another worker off gas, minerals onto gas. I do wonder, is it 2 workers on each gas with this build, or do you need to go immediately 3 workers on? Looks like it is immediately 3 workers, but hopefully he pulls off once he starts 1 or 2 more Reapers, because I do think you really want to optimize when you get that command center. Depot finishes back here behind the natural. I like that idea from BYUN to see if the Overlord's trying to cross over. Reaper goes in, already getting a bit of damage on one of the drones. That drone very damaged, but it didn't have to do a trick, which is always nice. Saves you a bunch of minerals not having to do a trick. It is losing mining time though. But I like that he just sent it back to his main base, realizing, hey, my natural's kind of the more dangerous base right now. Now, notice he did inject, but he should absolutely be putting a creep tumor here to connect the bases. Serral, why aren't we connecting our bases with creep? That's rule 101. Okay, that is going to somewhat connect them. Oh, don't lose your creep tumor, Serral. BYUN's going to get a freebie there. Doesn't get a Zergling, though. Yeah, this is a bit of a problem. I think at this point, you definitely know because you see how late the command center is. You're like, wait, that was meant to be down at 2 minutes 20. So Serral's building a lot more Zerglings off 24 drones. Oh, once you get to 5 Reapers, you one-shot drones and Zerglings. Oh my lord, this is actually getting kind of hectic right now. That Queen surviving on 3 hit points, but for how long? Link speed is here. Oh, did BYUN just get baited in? Oh, BYUN might have gone in a bit too deep. The grenade micro is being good, his jumping micro, his stutter step micro is being good, but he's now lost a bunch of Reapers. 3 Reapers for 10 Zerglings, a good trade. Serral needs to get these 2 red hit point Queens out of there. Like, get them away to safety right now. And as long as he doesn't lose them, it's a good start for Serral. The big problem with this build order as well, other than the fact that your natural's so late, is the Zerg doesn't even need to scout. Serral's going to scout anyway, because he's a very studious Zerg. He likes to be very safe. The problem for BYUN's build is it's always the exact same follow-up. It's, I have 3 barracks. The only efficient build from here is a 3 barracks, 2 base, marine, marine tank medevac, or occasionally marine medevac mine. But essentially, it's just going to be a 2 base, 3 barracks, pumping lots of units build. Very similar to what he did last game. The difference is Serral knows about it super early. He sees the factory timing, which kind of confirms it, but he didn't even need to see that. This is something where the moment you scout the command center not being built at 220 with your overlord, you know there's a 3rd barracks in the main. You know it'll be followed up by a command center, then a factory and a starport, and then a reactor and a swap around. You know what's coming minutes ahead. And this gives Serral all of the kind of mental awareness to the point where he should shut it down. Now, there's a problem. People normally know what BYUN's capable of, what he can pull out. And oh, Serral with an ambush went around the right side. Blocks the Reaper's retreat. He's not really microing his Lings very well, though. I do think Serral could move past the Reapers a little. But he's literally just doing the old A move, saying, I've got so many Zerglings, I don't need to do anything fancy. BYUN's pretty good at juking anyway. 8 Reapers for 13 Zerglings. That's rough for BYUN, man. That's a very bad start for him. And look at the worker count. I mean, look at it now. There's a bunch more drones. He's going to be at 66 workers against 36. I mean, that's very greedy, admittedly. But normally you wouldn't want to drone that hard against a 2-base Terran. But he's like, well, I shut your opening down so hard, I can get away with anything. He definitely should be pulling all these overlords back out front, because these overlords could be sniped. Keep them over the dead space where they can't get taken down. He's got a few Lings out here. Doesn't actually see that path, but the Marines are coming forward. Medevac's almost out. Combat Shields is on the way, +1 as well. Should be pretty much nothing but roaches for Serral. He's already got a 2nd Evo chamber on the way. Yeah, I think Serral already is thinking, I have a big lead. If I just mass roach, I can defend this attack, which is going to be a little bit tight defending the first attack. He knows the Medevacs and the Marines are coming. He should be pulling these Overlords back, which once again, I got to point out, he has not done that. So a couple of free Overlord kills there for BYUN. Serral also doesn't have that much supply free already. So there we go. He's going to pull it back now as he sees the army. It's a little bit late to do that, but it may escape if he's lucky. The worker advantage is just disgusting, though. BYUN needs to get some damage done. Roaches are just such a good defensive unit, though. Attacking into them is very scary. But Overlord does get out. Marines are going to go forward. He gets 1 roach, 2 roach, 3. Almost gets a 4th. He gets a 4th and a 5th. 5 roaches for 7 Marines is not too bad a trade. But he needs better than not too bad. Like, he needs a fantastic trade. Now, do we see a 3rd command center? It looks like a 4th gas is going down. Marines, tanks, combat shields, all on the way. Roaches are pushing forward. 4th base is there. Infestation pits on the way for Serral as well. Remember, he has Ling speed, so he doesn't have to go all in with roaches, but I feel like it's a pretty big winning play because you know your opponent has barracks in their wall off. So if you get in control of this area, you can kill a bunch of the Terran production, and that essentially is GG. BYUN made a little bit of a comeback in the last game. He's looking for the biggest comeback now. He's waiting for that 4th to go down. He doesn't realize it's already finished on the other side. 2 tanks and a lot more Marines coming forward. A Changeling sees it. Serral knows exactly what's happening. A Queen does get ripped to shreds by those Marines. Youchies. Marines moving to the right. They do take down that Overlord. Nice hot pickup. Army's moving south. BYUN's getting caught. BYUN's getting caught. Pants down. Lings from behind, Roach Ravager from in front. He needs to save these tanks at the last second. Oh, one of them gets focused down, saves the other one. This is a tank and a bunch of Marines, only saving what can squeeze into those 2 medevacs. That Changeling seeing him move out, but I'm not seeing that. Bit of a mistake there for the Terran player. Of course, we can see the bar on that Marine, that Changeling. He cannot. That's what I was talking about. These barracks being exposed is a problem. If you lose 2 barracks, that's a lot of your production. You're only on 3 barracks. Command Center's just started, so you're on 3 barracks, 1 factory, 1 starport. But it looks like the tank and the Marines did scare back the Roach Ravager, so Serral's going to fall back for now. Hive, Baneling Naz, +2 Carapace are on the way. And BYUN is going to go for a Doom drop. He knows he's desperate. He dives north. Serral sees it. Serral has spotted that drop. He knows exactly what's happening. He could counterattack, but I would imagine he's probably just going to pull everything into the north. Get ready to await this push. He's already up 30 army supply. BYUN basically needs to give the most inspiring speech. And I have a feeling it doesn't matter how inspiring it is. It doesn't matter how hairy BYUN's chest is. No matter how much he shouts, freedom! I think this is going to end up very similar to the end of Braveheart. I think we might see Mel Gibson get, you know, drawn and quartered. It's going to be rough, man. This is just such a massive army advantage, and like, if you step on creep, you're screwed. That's why BYUN's looking for the perfect position. He's trying to be so careful about setting up for the perfect fight. I like the stim forward there. Gets a good tank volley. It's a bad position for Serral to fight unless he can flank from the right side. Oh, he comes forward. He's trying to ambush it. He gets a bit of damage on the libs, but not as much as I thought he would. Baneling speed still about 30 seconds away. Oh, awkward fight for Serral. Awkward fight for Serral. His units on the other side caught, I think, a tank that was rallying out. He's going to come in from the south. Dude, BYUN's making magic happen right now, but the Roach flank is so deadly. Look at that, getting in top of the tanks. Already a bunch of tanks die. The Liberator's going down as well. The Marines getting absolutely massacred. And Serral just has a little bit too much. All right. We've got game 3. We've got BYUN in the bottom left side of the map. Serral in the top right. Let's go. Game 3 to decide it on Alcyon. It's Alcyon, sorry. It's a good map. I'm really curious who's favored here, because I have seen Zergs pick it a little bit. I think, wasn't it Clem or Dark? Like, one of them vetoed this map during their finals, I believe. Oh, I can't remember who it was who vetoed it, but I was very surprised. I remember being like, wait, what? We're vetoing? I feel like as either side, there should be other maps that are more annoying to play on, but I guess the gold base can sometimes be a big attraction on either side. BYUN's played very aggressively so far. He now goes back to a command center first. Into a gas. We'll see a second gas as well. Yeah, you rally over there. Get a 20-second gas. And this is going to be a quick factory. I do wonder if he bothers with a Reaper or he just builds a Marine first. A lot of the time you see this look very similar to a normal build order. You go Reaper, you go Factory, you swap into the Reactor, you go Hellions, all of that normal jazz. Serral has not gone any 15 hatchery, 15 pool shenanigans. It's been very standard, straightforward openings for him. Old school. And there's going to be a Marine. Okay, I like this. I always feel like the delayed Reaper's not that great. You know, I figure, hey, your Factory's already going to be a bit late. But if you skip the Reaper, you get it similar to a normal timed Factory. And I do wonder, does BYUN go straight 3cc and just play full economy with this? Or are we actually going to commit a little bit more to some 2-base aggression? Maybe get a medevac out or something like that. Get some Marine drops going. Clear up the Overlords. Push back the vision of Serral. Serral did build a bunch of Zerglings, which he's realizing now he did not need to. He's going to start scouting around, making sure there's no proxies. Ah, okay. So he's thinking about Cyclone all-ins and other weird things. He's like, oh, you never know. Could be like a rich gas base or a Cyclone proxy or something like that. Let's just go check. Not a bad call. All right, second gas mining pretty well. Factory's going to swap over. Starport immediately begins. And notice he doesn't have 200 minerals. Starts a Hellion, immediately starts another Hellion. And we've got mules and SCVs going down as well. Interestingly, notice he dropped another mule in the main. It's because he didn't have Hellions out. So he didn't want to drop mules on his natural straight away, because if there was an early Ling rush or something, he'd lose those on the low ground, or at least lose a bunch of mining as they retreat. Looks like it will most likely be a Banshee opening. Lings are going to come in. Ling speed is about to finish. But the first two Hellions are there on time. Now he's starting to get a fair bit of money as BYUN. He could make a decision to squeeze in a quick third command center soon. But Cloak, Banshee, Tech Lab, 2 more Hellions. This all adds up. Costs a lot of money. Slows down that third command center. All right, we got a lot of queens building right now. 3 more queens building, 6 queens in total. Interesting. All right, Marine is shooting an Overlord here in the main base. Let's see what happens. Overlord is going in towards the main. The third command center, Serral's realizing what's up. He's like, okay, this is a very old school sort of follow-up. And it could be for a 2-base push. The fact that there's no third command center and Stim's already started. We're going to see a second and a third barracks go down very soon, aren't we? We're going to see a bunny build. No, he does go for the third command center. All right, I was wrong there. Thought we might see the old Hellion Banshee off command center first into 2-base Marine tank. I do like BYUN switching it up. You know, you don't want to get too predictable and just do a 2-base push every game in the series. So good decision making for him. Super safe lair Roach Horn for Serral. Serral's playing very safe, very cautious. His work account's not amazing. He's only at like 45 workers. I actually feel Serral's a little bit slower on his droning than he could have been. He definitely could have pushed it a bit harder. On the other hand, as long as you don't take damage, it's a-okay. Notice he's reset his rally points to each mineral line as he starts to take more gases. A few Zerglings coming out just to make sure those Hellions can't bypass into those mineral lines. Double engineering bay and second and third barracks are on the way now. And that second Banshee coming on out. He did build a total of 8 Hellions. That's a big investment. I think it's okay because, like I said, Serral's droning's been very slow. He's really respected the aggression. But you don't want to throw these units away. I think you want to save these Hellbats. The only problem is against a Roach style, Hellbats are nowhere near as effective. Against a Ling Bane style, Hellbats are very annoying. You have to blow them up with Banelings. Game sound effects are too quiet, really. Seems pretty normal volume to me, but maybe it is a little quieter than normal. Drones are pumping out. We got the double Evo chamber there as well. It gets way louder when there's a lot of fighting going on, so got to be careful about turning that up mid-series, but I'll check it out after the game. 4th and 5th barracks are there. Should be going for reactors on those, and the armory is actually too early. That's an armory that makes me think he wants to almost make Hellbats with it, but I would have preferred an earlier second factory. So slightly odd timing there for BYUN. I noticed Clem always goes second factory before armory with pretty much every build these days. And I really like the efficiency of that. It's something which, when I first noticed it, I realized, why have I not been doing this? Infestation pit's finished. And Baneling Nest on the way. So I always find this build, the Roach Ravager Queen into Ling Bane Hive, is one of the hardest to pull off builds. Oh, he snaps the Banshee though. BYUN loses that one. Nice. Roaches damage the Hellions a little bit as well. Serral putting 10 more drones. The scary thing I find as the Zerg is, unless you get a bit of a lead, there's this point where you're in this awkward mix of Roaches and Ravagers and some Lings and some Banes, but it's hard to actually have enough Banelings to properly connect with the Marines. On the other hand, it is very difficult for a Terran to kill. Like, usually they have one moment they can attack and that's about it. Now, 1-1's been done for a little bit, but notice it's not being used. That armory is not being used just yet. Second factory ends up going down now, along with some gas on the third, a 5th gas, and he's mining open the minerals. BYUN's thinking about a 4th base. Interesting. Overseer's going to go down south now, realizing he got spotted there. The lack of 2-2 definitely hurting a little bit. BYUN really hasn't done any damage to Serral. Serral's on 85 workers. Here's a little supply blocked in a moment. Serral better build an extra 4 overlords so he can finish maxing out. But with a 3rd Evo chamber on the way, wow, Serral's going to go melee range carapace. Triple upgrades. Dark and Serral, birds of a feather flock together apparently. Usually I only see Dark do the triple Evo chamber. Cool to see Serral mixing it in. Marines start to dance north. Former overlords are on the way. I mean, don't get me wrong, Serral's in the lead, I'd say, but when you're on a Roach army, it's awkward, guys. Like, what does he transition into on Hive? He's got a lot of good upgrades. Overlord speed, just for a bit of extra vision. Adrenal glands makes his Zerglings better. Viper's an amazing spellcaster that you only get at Hive Tech. He's making 2-2, not far behind the 2-2 of BYUN. But if BYUN can do like a giant Marine tank 2-2 push, that is hard to deal with. Of course, BYUN is going 4th command center, extra barracks. BYUN is not focused on the fighting. He's focused on setting up for the longer game. I just realized why our frame rate's been a little bit lower today. Oh, because I'm on windowed mode. That's why. Sorry about that, guys. The frames, I was like, why does this look a little stuttery? It's like not like too bad, but it's just sometimes there is a little bit of visual lag. Fix that after this game. Marines and Hellbats moving forward. We got the Marines up there on the top as well. BYUN's happy to chill for the moment, but that will give time for Serral to move towards Ultras. Overseer is still down in that south as well. Lots of Lings gathering. If you can blow this 4th up before the planetaries even erect, that'd be nice. A few Marines and Widow Mines down there as well as a Banshee. Lings will come in en masse. BYUN's going to come home at the same time. He drops in behind and does clear up a few drones. Oh, those SCVs, though. He doesn't run his SCVs away. Big sloppy mistake there for BYUN. Doesn't have many units at home at all, so he's losing a lot. Command Center is trying to upgrade. He has to cancel that and lift it. BYUN fumbling a little bit here in this game 3. It's just a bunch of Zerglings, but he's taking way more damage than he should. Ooh, oh no, BYUN! And he's gone back to staring at his army. The Vipers come in with some lovely Blinding Clouds. Those will wear off in a moment. Sweet Serral throws down another Blinding Cloud. Does take out both of those tanks, and there's still a Zergling alive in the third. I mean, that was a bit of a fumble there for BYUN. 37 workers going down in a macro game, a game which you were playing rather slow. You've got 5 command centers. He needs to get this up right now. BYUN seems to be slowing down a little bit in this late game stage. He looked so good while the momentum was on the aggression, but now he's going to have to wake up a little bit. You don't want to give Serral free damage like this. More Zerglings coming in. It's going to go orbital on the 4th, not even a planetary. BYUN likes that high-risk, high-reward style. In this position, I might be tempted if I was in BYUN's shoes to just stay on 60 workers, maybe 65 at most. Stop building workers and just play for a giant army. You're a bit too far behind to play the slow efficiency game. Uh-oh. Roaches in the natural. Okay, Depot gets raised. Widow Mines are nearby. Nice. One of those does fire. Meanwhile, on the front, we've got a mass Baneling Ravager army coming forward. The Marines taking a few of them down. A lot more units coming forwards. Ooh, I like that Blinding Cloud. The Banelings do have to fall back. Roaches are in the natural. Serral wants to get rid of these Roaches and replace them with Ultralisks. The Roaches are no longer an effective unit for this stage of the game. And any units you can kill with those before they go down is a success. 14 workers falling on top of the 36 earlier. That is 51 SCVs in total. Only a single drone has died on Serral's side of the map. +3 range, +3 carapace, and +2 melee are all upgrading right now. Serral has a gold base, and his income is looking solid at almost 4,000 minerals a minute. If you want to break that down in terms of numbers, 4,000 minerals a minute, which to be a fair, BYUN has as well with his mules currently. That is, it's 4 minerals per 100. So you do the maths. 160 Zerglings a minute. It's a lot of army production. Banelings running in from both sides, but the Marine Marauder comes in from both sides. You don't want to be running into such a big wall of Marauders with that. Ling run by into the natural being a nuisance. Burrow is here. Serral just going to force a few scans out, and indeed he does. Oh, BYUN stabilized now, which is nice. He's got a Ghost Academy, 3-3. Concussive Shells has been remembered. How many factories has he got? Just the 2 right now. Which is not bad, but you do want to get a 3rd and a 4th factory generally as time goes on. Right now, over on the right side, though, looks like he's going to have to give up this gold base temporarily. Nope, Serral. Ooh, being a little cautious right now. Parasitic Bombs, Biles on the Widow Mines. Another Parasitic Bomb stands ready. He will throw it out now, making it difficult for BYUN to micro. BYUN's only bringing about half of his army here. The rest is going to push towards the Watchtower, taking control of that area. Notice Serral has only cleared up this little access point and the backside. Neither side has cleared the rocks or the minerals in the center for an easier rotation. BYUN especially has not broken those. And until he breaks these rocks, his army is doing a giant friggin' U-shape to get around. So I definitely want to see BYUN take those rocks, try to claim the Watchtower, and then just have a big spready in front of that. Serral is preparing for late game. Spire might not be here, but he's already got an Infestor on the map. No doubt we'll be building more in the near future. Bio running in on that left side. They catch a drone, a bit of creep tumors, denying the base getting taken. Marine Marauder moving to the right. We've got those units there as well. Big thanks, Downrocks, mate. Marine Marauder trying to damage these. Not getting all that much done, though. Widow Mine's moving to the right side. We've got the Lingbane Ultra jumping on top of the Fungal. Oh, that was a Serral special, that was. Pops up. I didn't even see the Infestor. It was right underneath the army. Popped up on top of them once they were already all shooting other units and got a massive Fungal. Serral only down 1,000 resources. He does take a pretty chunky Widow Mine there into his Banelings. Bit of miss micro. Oh, Serral's going in with a bit of a crazy fight. I think he's got so much supply, he kind of just wants to force trades. I like the Parasitic Bomb and the Banshee. It was almost dead already, but he's like, well, I don't have anything else that shoots up. Let's get rid of it. He's making Hydras right now. Okay. Hydras is not a bad choice. You just want something that shoots up to kill Medivacs, Liberators, and all the rest. It's going to be a swap into basically a Hydra Lingbane Star with a couple Vipers, a single Infestor that is right now tracking this army. Scan goes down to try to catch one. Serral's just going to stop out there. Massling going in the left side with an Ultralisk. They do see the Medivacs coming. Widowmine will fire on a few of those. I'm going to try and unload, but there's an Ultra there. You got to be careful of that Ultra. Good starter step for BYUN. Serral has to back off. Lurkaden coming in. I think Lurk is going to be nearly useless in this game. Actually, wait, there's not any siege tanks, is there? Never mind. Lurkers will be great. I take it back. BYUN is not building siege tanks, just mines, bio, ghosts, and libs. Massive Baneling Ultra range comes in. Big splash. She's going to start taking out a few of those Marauders. Planetary in the middle is almost up. Slowest direction finally does find itself stiff in the middle of the battle. But, damn, too much Zerg for it to handle. Planetary gets taken out. Serral continuing to trade close to even in a game where he already has 7,500 resources in the bank. I think BYUN just losing those SCVs earlier has really taken the steam out, and we're going to need to see BYUN show excellent endgame to make this comeback possible. He's going to have to show absolutely stunning comeback potential. Sorry guys, I'm just going to do a really quick pause. We've just, the frame rate is just a bit lower than I'd like it. There we go, that'll make things a bit better. Especially in late game Zerg versus Terran, there's so much creeps, Zerglings, Banelings, it gets quite laggy. If I'm on windowed mode, just drops the frames by 30, 40, something like that. Liberators moving up the left side of the map, going to try and siege up on these bases. I do like this move. I think Liberators are amazing. Very underused unit. Command Center in the bottom right just needs to lift. Good pullback. BYUN's still low on Ghost, though, and those Spellcasters for Serral have been adding excellent value. Ooh, I like that he's scanning to make sure there's no Infestors hiding behind him. Good fight for BYUN. Anytime he takes a fight like that, it's going to be well worth it. No borrowed Zerglings underneath the base. Serral's got that gold base going. Liberator does sneak in behind the main base, but the Queens are there as well. BYUN is saying second and third starport is the way. A lot of people think factories, mixing in siege tanks. And I love siege tanks mixed in with your biomine, but it looks like BYUN is saying, nah, I'm just going to go libs. Like, other units are stupid. Let's just make a ton of Liberators. Ooh, Widowmine gets a good splash. A little bit of friendly fire as well. Serral does have Banelings and Ultras on both sides. Ling's trying to surround her. The Viper's trying to come in on that right side. And nice defense by BYUN. BYUN's making me believe a little bit. If he could just hold on against a few more of these attacks. Serral has such a big bank. I got to be critical and say Serral should be pushing harder and faster. He's taken a long time to push in here and break down BYUN. Oh! Well, I take it back. He was waiting for that. He was trying to bait BYUN into the open so the Infestor didn't have to go too close to the turret. He lands a big fungal from underground. Is this the only Infestor he's built this game? Okay, he's built two Infestors. He lost one of them early, and this one has been a massive in assisting many, many Marine and Marauder kills. Serral's going to rotate to the left side, clean up that turret, get rid of these Widow Mines here as well. That mineral line is still only guarded by an orbital and a little bit of bio. Ling's running in there. The army crashing in from all sides. BYUN trying to fall back and defend, but he is so outnumbered. Any mistakes are going to be instantly punished, and his army's getting broken on this left side. Production at depots going down. The gold base is being ransacked. Two cloaked ghosts cannot clear the Zerglings fast enough. The orbital almost burning down, and there's just no way to get back in control of this game. BYUN does an amazing game one. Pretty good game two. Game three, not quite as inspired. I've got to go back to that point because I think build order-wise, it was all fine. But it was when he lost those 30 workers, there was a really big mishandling of that. And I just want to look at this from BYUN's point of view to see what happened. So you're going to see these Lings split off to the right side. Was it these guys? I don't think it was those. No, it was this one. So let's look at BYUN's camera and let's get in his head at this point. He doesn't know about it. He's focused on the front. He's dropping up there. So he's doing a bit of this aggressive multitasking, poking in and out here. Having the Hellbats there is a really bad idea, guys, because they're slower than Marines. They're not as agile, so they block your Marines from picking up. Now, he notices the Lings down here, and he does A-move back. Ah, okay, here's what happened. So what he did is he A-moved these units down there, and they immediately started going to the right, because he'd A-moved probably here or something. So he was like, oh, no, don't go that way, guys. So then he changed their attack move to over here. Let's watch this. This is slightly slower than actual game speed. He stims those guys into the third base. He's building a lot more units. He's trying to unload some Hellbats here. But then he just kind of stops those units from retreating. So he's leaving half on the watchtower, half he's sending home. Microing the drop, because he just kind of is underestimating it. And to me, I've got to look at this sequence and go, BYUN, what are you doing?
Our SCVs are under attack.
These are huge. Because if we look at that whole last sequence again, it's like, why didn't we run the SCVs away? He spotted it when the Lings were coming in. Guys, he looked down here.
Mineral field depleted.
And he goes, okay, no, A move that way. And then he just goes and looks at his production. And he stims more units over, which is great, but you'd think one of the first things you do is go box, shift, box, which would select all of the Zergling, the SCVs and the Banshee, click on the minerals, tell the Banshee to keep attacking, but you got to just run your SCVs away. So I think leaving those SCVs there was a big mistake. I think his brain malfunctioned a little bit. When he clicked and his units tried to go to the right, I think BYUN just kind of, he got a bit excited and just started not focusing on the right things. And then he's like, no, I can't give up map control and my siege tanks in the middle. But it's like there's higher priority things right now, right? And it's defending your workers. So, and then he does lose those units on the left. And these guys are coming back, but he's so focused on the middle of the map. He's so worried about, am I going to get ambushed in the middle? Yes, I am. Oh, I can't let him kill these tanks. I can't get out of position. So this whole period, these Lings are killing his third, and he's just watching the middle. So BYUN basically just was too worried about the middle of the map. He underestimated the Ling run by, and he didn't handle it correctly. And what should have been maybe 10 workers at most going down ended up being 37, which is just a massive mistake. Couldn't BYUN have tried a base trade? Not at all. That was maybe 40 Zerglings, right? I don't think it was very much. Because if you think about it, it just wasn't that big an attack. Yeah, it was maybe 40 or 50 Zerglings at the absolute most, 25, 30 supply. It's the equivalent of like 2 medevacs. So Serral's main army is still at home, right? There's still plenty of Roaches, Lings, Banes, Queens, Vipers. But yeah. Instead of defending, his army was up really far. It was, but it's not that big a run by. If this was Serral's whole army, yeah. If this was like 30 Banes, 50 Zerglings, 80 Roaches, what you'd do then is you'd lift this base, pull the SCVs from there, pull these SCVs, you'd click them on your natural, you'd lift those 2 command centers, you'd set your rally point here, and you'd basically give up control of these areas. Yeah, I'll lose some depots, some gases, but that's okay. But Serral just sent a Ling run by, and BYUN just kind of got a bit befuddled and just kind of underestimated, thought it wasn't as dangerous as it was, and you could just tell BYUN went a little bit haywire. Unfortunate, but hats off to Serral. Played a very clean game and continues to be unstoppable. Gets himself the 2-1 victory right here early on in the winner's stage. GG, well played, Serral.